pretty good.
If the electors will start to take their seat, we will begin promptly at 9.
Representative, good to see you, sir. You do you. All right. This is our third time doing it, so.
It will be on. Just bear with us for a moment. Our Mr. Sergeant of Arms, invite the electors into the chamber and close the doors. I hereby declare the 2024 Tennessee Electoral College now in session. Governor Bill Lee, Secretary of State Trey Hargett, Comptroller Mumpower, Treasurer Lillard, legislators from across the state, election officials that's in the gallery, Chairman Scott Golden, and distinguished electors and altered electors, and of course Chief Justice Kirby, and our friends in the Tennessee Capitol Press Corps as well. They don't get recognized that much. But anyway, I'm Mark Goins. I'm the coordinator of elections for the great state of Tennessee. And on behalf of all Tennesseans, I want to thank you electors for coming here today and offering yourself for this service. It's a historical event, and we really appreciate everything that you've done to be here. You know, Governor Lee and legislators, I'm very proud to be in Tennessee. You look at the economic factors, you look at whether it's the pensions or whatever, we are top ranked in almost every metric that you look at. Basketball, maybe football, certainly baseball. But one of the things that I'd be remiss to say is that because of the great work that the legislature has done, Secretary Hargett has done, my staff has done, and the election officials that's in the gallery that's traveled here today, Tennessee for the third year has been ranked #1 in the nation for election integrity. And if you don't mind, I would like to recognize the election officials that's up in the gallery today. If you'll stand so we can see the folks that carry out the great laws that the Tennessee General Assembly passes. Thank you. Together we're a great team. What you'll see today is Article 2 of the United States Constitution and also Amendment 12 being carried out. Those established the Electoral College. In each state, electors are chosen pursuant to state law. Tennessee is a state where electors are elected by the popular vote. However the popular vote goes, so does the electoral states. Most states are that way, but Tennessee is by popular vote. Last year, the Tennessee General Assembly, Senator Lowe and Chairman Rudd, passed a bill. And today, we're coming full circle. We're actually going to see this law, that is now law, come into play. It's called the Uniform Presidential Electors Act. In real time, legislators, you're going to be able to see this law carried out, as I said. Now, for this bill to become a law, it has to go through certain committees. The Election Subcommittee, which is most recently chaired by Tim Rudd. It goes through the local committee, which is chaired by Representative Crawford. And then on the Senate side, the heavy lifting over there is done by Senator Briggs, who chairs the state and local. They are going to be participating in the Electoral College, and you will be able to see some of the legislation that you have passed and seen come to fruition happen today. What is the act that just passed? Essentially, it says this. The new law says that if you're an elector, however the popular vote goes in Tennessee, you must cast your vote that way. If you don't, your seat is automatically vacated. I've spoken to every single elector. I can tell you that none of the electors are even anticipating going a different way. It takes 270 electoral votes out of 538 total possible votes to elect the President and Vice President of the United States. Tennessee has 11 electoral votes. A frequently asked question I get, why do we have 11? Well, there's 9 congressmen and 2 U.S. senators. That's why we have 11. The documents signed today will go to the National Archives, but more importantly, they will go to the United States Congress. And on January the 6th, the documents that you sign today will be the official document documenting how the state of Tennessee went and will be cast in the actual vote, choosing and certifying the president. It is an important day for the state of Tennessee, and this is happening all across the United States. As you sign a document, and there's plenty, I will explain what those documents are, and so you'll know exactly what they are. Another frequently asked question I get is, how do you become an elector? I'm going to tell you, hard work. Basically, once someone becomes a nominee, the folks that are electors, these are the folks that do the grassroots. They make the phone calls, they put up the signs, they make the campaign contributions. They are actually the folks behind the candidate that props them up. Many of them serve on the SEC, the Executive Committee for the Republican Party. That means that they volunteer their time, they spend their money to come to meetings in Nashville to actually guide the party. The same thing for the alternate electors. Fortunately, today we will not be using any alternate electors, but I appreciate you coming to serve as well. The same thing can be said for them. We have some tellers today that will be very helpful. The tellers will be the ones that will be passing out the documents. Beth Henry Robertson, Andrew Dodd, Steve Griffey, Kathy Summers, Spencer Jones, Malin Reeves, and Lena Rusomano will serve as the tellers. We have some Sergeant of Arms, which today you've already probably come acquainted with. Tricia Higna, Mallory Donovan, Christian Cervantes, Andrew Dodd, Bob Brown, Emma Lau, Zach Pratt, Alan Hall, and Honorary Sergeant of Arms Joshua Parker. This day would not be possible with the great help from the Deputy Chief, from the Governor's Deputy Chief, Melanie Passions, who has worked very hard to help us as well. The next order of business is the actual roll call. I call on Chairman of the Tennessee Republican Party to do the roll call. We will start with Ms. Buckles, Secretary Hargett, and Governor Lee, if you'll come to the well. As your name is called, you will come up, you will get a photo that will document that you are here today, you were present, but also it's a certificate showing that you were elected. After you get your photo, you will return to your seat, and then we'll go to Jane Chedester. This time, Scott Golden.
Thank you, Mr. Goins, and I too just want to thank everybody for being here today, and thank Mr. Goins and Secretary Hargett for all of their work and all of this. We certainly appreciate it as a Republican Party, and what a joyous day it is. So it is my privilege to begin the roll call. We'll start with the 1st District Elector, Mrs. Linda D. Buckles. And from the 2nd Congressional District, Mrs. Jane Chedester. From the 3rd Congressional District, Mrs. Emily Beatty. From the 4th Congressional District, Mr. Jim Sandman. From the 5th Congressional District, Mr. Ron McDowell. From the 6th Congressional District, Mrs. Terry Nicholson. From the 7th Congressional District, Mr. Larry Hillis. From the 8th Congressional District, Mr. Lee Mills. From the 9th Congressional District, Mrs. Tina McElravy. A statewide elector, Mr. Lee Beeman. Statewide elector, Mrs. Charlotte Kelly. I'd like to also recognize the alternate electors, if you guys would stand up. From the 2nd District, Mr. Brian Hornbeck. From the 3rd District, Mr. Ken Meyer. From the 4th District, Ms. Myra Simons. From the 5th District, Mr. John Richardson. From the 6th District, Ms. Linda Clark. From the 8th District, Ms. Tess Robbins. And statewide alternate, Sheriff Tim Hutchinson. Thank you all for your service. Thank you, sir, for your service to our party, to our state, and to the new President of the United States. God bless everybody. Thank you, Mark.
All electors are present. There's no reason to fill a vacancy. At this time, Secretary Hargett.
Thank you, Coordinator Goins. Thank you, Governor Lee. Thank you to the members of the Cabinet that are here. Especially thank you to the members of the legislature who, once again, want to echo what Coordinator Goins said, who've given us such great laws in our state to ensure the integrity of Tennessee's elections. You play a critical part in what has happened to be able to pull off this election successfully. We've come together today to take part in one of the most sacred functions of our country, and that's to complete the process of electing the President of the United States of America. All across the United States today, electors will be casting their ballots for President and Vice President of the country that we all know and love so dearly. As you know, the use of the Electoral College to complete this process is mandated not only in the United States Constitution, but also by a spirit of what our nation represents. The college established a process in which all states, big and small, are ensured to have a voice in selecting the President of the United States. On behalf of Tennessee voters, I want to thank you, the men and women serving as our electors today. It is with great privilege I introduce the Tennessee Supreme Court Chief Justice, Holly Kirby, to administer the oath of office. Justice Kirby, please approach the well and administer the oath.
Thank you, Secretary Hargett and assembled officials, for the privilege of administering the oath of office to our fine presidential electors. Will the electors please stand in place and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will perform with fidelity the duties of the office to which I have been elected and which I am about to assume. Congratulations, you are now official presidential electors.
Thank you, Justice Kirby. Just like we rank top in lots of metrics, I would say the Tennessee Supreme Court is also the best in the nation. There's a paper copy of the oath that you just got administered. Please fill out that oath. Once you have signed that oath, the election tellers will bring the oath to Justice Kirby for her to witness it today. Once that oath is witnessed, that oath will be filed with the Secretary of State's office, showing that, in fact, you have qualified to be an elector to cast your votes in today's Electoral College from the great state of Tennessee. So we'll pause until the oath is delivered to Justice Kirby.
you, Justice Kirby, for being part of today's ceremony. It now gives me great privilege to introduce our chaplain for today, someone who served admirably in this chamber for 2 decades, someone who now serves as advisor to our great Governor Bill Lee, but most importantly, not only today but every day, a man of faith and a man of God. I give you Representative the Honorable John DeBerry.
Good morning, Governor. Will you pray with me? Our Father in heaven, we thank you so much for this wonderful, beautiful day. We thank you for the privilege of being Americans, of being Tennesseans. We thank you for your blessings that are evident in this room today, where we have had a free and fair and successful election. We thank you, Father, for our Governor Bill Lee and how he serves with courage and wisdom and fidelity for the people of the state of Tennessee. We thank you for our Secretary of State, Trey Hargett, who has led us and made us proud. He and Commissioner Goins, our chairman of the Republican Party, and others of the electorates and members of the House of Representatives and the Senate, who have made us proud as Tennesseans because we have been recognized as that place that is the light on the top of the hill that directs and leads the rest of the nation. We thank you, Father, for free and fair elections. The fact, Father, that we have elected a new president, and we ask you to be with President Trump, Vice President Vance, as they take control of the White House and govern this great nation. Crown their heads with wisdom, Father. Give them the grace of understanding that we as a nation need the strength to pull us together and reunite us so that we can continue to be the greatest nation in the history of this world. Father, be with all of us so that we will recognize just how blessed we are to be Americans. Father, take care of our men and women who serve in our Tennessee Guard and our National Guard, the men and women who serve in uniform, because we do understand, Father, that freedom is not free and that they put their lives on the line each and every day to maintain that freedom. Pray for their families, Father. We pray for them. Protect them as they serve in dangerous places around this world, to ensure that events like this event today will continue in perpetuity to the next generation. And Father, finally, we ask you on this day to help us be strong enough, focused enough, not to live our fears, our faults, our flaws, our failures, but instead, Father, that we focus on our faith and our future, and that America will be great, unified, blessed, and prosperous. God bless the great state of Tennessee. God bless America. And we thank you in the name of your darling son, Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Chaplain. God has certainly shown great favor to our state and our nation, and I hope that we will return that favor by how we serve him. Today, during our ceremony, we have 3 chairmen who are with us today, who each of them have been directly responsible for supporting and sponsoring many of the laws that have ensured the integrity of the elections. They're each going to have a different part, but first, I want to ask Chairman Tim Rudd of Rutherford County to come forward and offer the Pledge of Allegiance today. Chairman Rudd.
Thank you.
All right. I've witnessed this mic operating many a time, but I've never had to turn the power on to it. Hello, welcome. If you'll all join with me today and say the pledge, I would appreciate it. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And thank you for your service.
Hearing the pledge never gets old. Thank you, Chairman Rudd. The next order of business is to announce statewide election results for the president-elect as well as the vice president. There's a document called the Certificate of Ascertainment. The document was signed by Governor Lee and Secretary Hargett on December the 2nd. That document was sent to the National Archives. That basically signifies who won the state of Tennessee, but more importantly, it lists the 11 electors that will be voting today. Donald J. Trump, President-elect, received 1,966,865 votes from the state of Tennessee, as well as, obviously, the vice president. The next closest competitor was the vice president of the United States, currently. She received, Ms. Harris, her and Governor Walz received 1,056,265 votes. This was a record turnout in the state of Tennessee. Many records were broken, and as electors, you should be proud to represent the electors that have cast their the voters who cast their ballot in the November election. At this time, the tellers will take the already signed certificates of ascertainment that were signed on December the 2nd and give them to Secretary Hargett. Those certificates of ascertainment will, and if you'll take them to his desk, those certificates of ascertainment will be paired with the very important certificate of vote that will be upcoming. But before we get there, the electors have to vote, and they have to vote for each candidate independently. At this point, I turn it over to Secretary Hargett, which by law presides over the voting of the electors.
Thank you, Coordinator Goins. At this time, the electors will cast the votes for president. Electoral tellers, please deliver to the electors the presidential ballot and bring the voted ballots back to me for inspection pursuant to state law. Our new law requires me to examine the ballots and accept the ballots cast consistent with the pledged candidates, and then Representative John Crawford, Chairman John Crawford, will tally and announce the votes.
So currently, the electors are voting for President of the United States. It is literally a ballot that they will check. They have to sign it and print their name pursuant to state law.
Secretary Hargett, for President of the United States, the electors of the state of Tennessee cast 11 votes for Donald J. Trump.
At this time, the electors will cast the votes for Vice President. The electoral tellers, please deliver to the electors their ballots and bring the voted ballots to me for inspection pursuant to state law. Afterwards, Senator Richard Briggs will announce the vote totals.
Secretary Hargett, for Vice President of the United States, the electors for the state of Tennessee cast 11 votes for J.D. Vance.
Thank you, Chairman Rudd, Chairman Crawford, and Chairman Briggs for your participation today. And let the record reflect that Donald J. Trump received 11 electoral votes for President of the United States, and J.D. Vance received 11 electoral votes for Vice President of the United States.
The counting board, made of the legislators, did such a great job. When they retire, I think we know who to contact election officials. But anyway, good job counting. At this time, the most important document that you will sign today, other than the oath that you took, is a certificate of vote. This is the document that will be used to show how the Tennessee electors voted in the state of Tennessee. We will start with Ms. Buckles. You'll have, we'll take we'll take the 10 certificates of vote to you. You will sign one, pass it down, sign one, pass it down. You don't have to keep all of them there and sign all 11 at one time. Take one, pass it down. This does take a little time to get these documents signed. This is, by the way, listed in the Constitution. You're complying with the Constitution at this point. The certificate of vote simply does this. It has J.D. Vance listed on one side saying that he received 11 electoral votes. On the other side, it says Donald J. Trump received 11 electoral votes. By your signature, you're signifying that is exactly how you counted your vote earlier, just a few moments ago. This does take a few moments. Like I say, not only will this document be sent to the National Archives and the U.S. Congress 2 of those documents will be preserved at the state for folks to take a look at if they so choose to look at those. In case there's an emergency and the document does not make it to Congress, we also file a paired version of the certificate of vote and certificate of ascertainment with the chief federal judge of this district. After the electors sign those certificates, they will be given to Governor Lee and Secretary Hargett for them to witness. next order is to actually certify the Electoral College. Once again, we're following the Constitution. The tellers have been pairing the documents together and placing them in an envelope, and the state seal is placed over that envelope. The envelope is sealed, and each individual elector must sign these sealed documents. That's how they know they're official when they receive them. So you are not done signing yet. In just a few moments, you will be getting an envelope. You'll see the state seal there. Just sign that document certifying that that is where the documents have been placed. You will sign on the side where the state seal is. Once again, Elector Buckles, you will start and just pass it down. Once all these are signed, shortly the governor will come up and give concluding remarks. If you don't mind, after he gets done giving his concluding remarks, if you will, this is called the well to the legislators. If you'll come to the well, we'll take a, not now, but we'll take a photo with the governor, Secretary Hargett, to document all the electors were here today. So for those of you up there to the left, you cannot see, but they are putting the seals on the envelopes. It is a tedious process, but once that's completed, this will be the ending of the official documentation that needs to be done once they're signed. So once the envelope is signed, we do have the tellers over there verifying that all electors have signed, and they're doing that now. If you're up in the gallery, you can't see, but that is occurring over there. Is that the final one? Okay, we now have the final one. Ms. Summers, Teller Summers. Now, what's going to be, electors, we have, Secretary Hargett and myself, we wanted you all to have something that's suitable for framing. You will be given an envelope, just pass it down, Ms. Buckles, and take out your envelope. You can also place the stuff that's in there, but those are yours to, if you want to frame those. We thought that you might like to keep those, documenting that. Once I get the all clear that all 11 have signed the envelope, we will be good to go, Governor Lee. We are good. At this time, I present to you for the great state of Tennessee, Governor Bill Lee.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thank you. It's quite an honor to be in this room in this moment. I suspect you all share with me the feeling that this is a unique opportunity that each one of us have to be in this room and to participate in a process that is a part of what sets us apart as the greatest nation in the world. We gather here in this room, the members of the legislative branch, the executive branch, the judicial branch, to perform what is being performed in states all across America today, to be a part of a process that is uniquely ours, a government of the people where the people have the opportunity to choose those who lead them, and to replace and choose again those who lead us. President after president after president, generations of Americans having the opportunity to self-govern through this process. It is an amazing process, and to be a part of it is a tremendous honor. We will have a new president and a new administration, and I commit to you that this administration, our executive branch, will be committed to working together with the new president and his administration for the good of the people of Tennessee. We understand that Tennessee has a role to play in this country. We believe that Tennessee, in many ways, is a model and an example for leading in this country. And we can do so, in particular, if we engage with the new administration in a way that's productive for Tennesseans. I look forward to that. Am excited about that opportunity to make sure that Tennesseans are served well, not only by the government here in Tennessee, but by the government of the United States of America. It is such an honor to be in here with you, and I especially want to thank the multiple members of the General Assembly that I see sitting here. It's an honor to work alongside citizen legislators. You will be back in just another month or so, and I look forward to the opportunity that we have to serve the people of Tennessee. But for everyone, in particular today, the electors who served the people by fulfilling your role, thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for each of you that are involved in elections in this state. Thank you, Secretary of State, for the election process that is unique for Tennessee and that sets us apart from other states. We we are blessed not only to be Americans, but we are blessed by God to be Tennesseans. And I ask him that he continue to pour out his favor on this great state that is Tennessee. As the official business of the Electoral College has been completed on behalf of the citizens of Tennessee, I announce that if there's no other business to be completed, we hereby declare the 2024 Tennessee Electoral College now adjourned. Thank you.